Welcome to the Navigating Your Life show. I'm your host, Nat Williams. Tonight we're going to take a look at coping tips for caregivers. We will gain perspectives from various resources on caring for individuals of all ages. To highlight some of the most current statistics from caregiver.org, it is believed that there are 52 million informal and family caregivers who provide care to someone aged 20 or older who is either ill or disabled. In addition, there are 34 million adults, 16% of our population, who provide care to adults 50 plus years of age. In a 2003 study, caregivers were found to spend an average of 4.3 years caring for someone that they love. If the services provided by informal caregivers, that is family and friends and neighbors, had to be replaced with paid services, it would cost an estimated $257 billion a year. Recently, I had the opportunity to visit the YWCA of Bethlehem's Adult Daycare Center and to talk with some of their staff members, and here's what they shared. Thank you, Melissa and Kelly, for allowing us to visit with you today at the YWCA Bethlehem Adult Daycare Center. Could you tell us what goes on here? I'll start with you, Melissa, here at the center.
Well, we are a social daycare program. We take clients who are over the age of 60 and they are diagnosed with Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, they could be stroke victims, or just have a simple disability. Wow. Typically these clients cannot remain within their homes unsupervised. So a lot of their caregivers, whether they're their spouses or they're their children, need a safe place for them to go during the day.
Wow. And so, Kelly, what are some of the activities that go on here at the center during the day?
Well, when we open up at 8 o'clock in the morning and the clients come in and they have their little social time, they have their coffee and their tea, and then we do more or less to get to know the day, what day it is. So we do a program. At 9:30 we start a program where they do current events. We do a newspaper, and you know, it's something we do on a regular basis so they get to know what the routine is.
It's like an orientation for them to what the day is.
And what day of the week it is. And then we do an activity, maybe a game of using our minds, a trivia game, and then we play a physical game, an exercise, and then it's lunchtime. And then after lunch, it's more activities. If we do, we might have crafts, bingo. We have cooking classes that they actually make their snacks for the next day.
Wow.
And then they have snack again, and then they come back out and they do something physical and trivia. And as you can see in the back, we had several clients that were just the remainder of the day playing quiet games together.
Wow.
And socializing.
Good. The focus of today's show is on coping tips for caregivers. As the center here has a lot of individuals who are being cared for by their families, what are some tips that in your years of experience that would be beneficial for our audience to hear as some tips that would help them in caring for those in their families that they're caring for?
I would say education. Be educated in if they have Alzheimer's, or if there's a need that they have to have, and always look into every detail. And if you're going to be placing a client in a facility, check them out.
Really?
Check them out from top to bottom. You want top line for your loved one. It's, you know, we try to say, you know, there are four things that are very important. Is, you know, find a facility that has respect, shows dignity to your loved one, a commitment to care, and compassion. And of course, I always throw in, that's my fifth one, is laughter. You know, places that are good for laughter.
That's wonderful.
So it's definitely educate yourself on everything that you need to know about the disease or whatever your loved one is going through.
Very good.
And also the area agencies on aging, there's a lot of funding out there. There's a lot of help out there, and they will pay for them to either stay in the home or go to daycare. So if that's the issue, because a lot of these healthcare continuums are extremely expensive, So if that's the issue, there's always a lot of money out there as long as you know where to go.
Okay. So as we wrap up, with respect to any other tips or ideas you want to share with people that are in a caregiving role as a way to help them cope better, well, Kelly, would you like to share any final thoughts?
You know, the daycare also, Kelly went through just the basic daily grind that we go through here, but we celebrate every holiday with parties and activities. We have DJs in here, we have karaoke people in here. We do a mock wedding, we do a senior prom. There's a lot of events that go on here at the program that the caregivers genuinely love. So it's something that even we encourage them to even come by and try a free day. You can do that pretty much with all the daycare programs. If you're not sure about the program, come on, stop by.
Well, both Melissa and Kelly, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to spend with us. I think this has been most informative, and I appreciate, again, your time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to the staff at the YWCA for having us and sharing what they do with us. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have a chance to talk with the coordinator of Project Child in Bethlehem, PA.
Are you ready to experience personal success in all 8 domains of life? Then join Dr. Nat Williams for the Absolutes of Success Weekend Transformation Program at Tucson, Arizona, and achieve your greatest potential. Registration includes a 2-night stay with meals at the beautiful Westward Look Resort. Register today, only $6.99, or register with a friend and pay only $9.99 with shared room. Call 1-800-810-3683 or visit absolutesofsuccess.com.
Jim is an easygoing 12-year-old who is a little on the quiet side. However, once he gets to know you, he opens up and is very friendly. Jim loves being a member of the Youth Football League and also likes playing basketball. Enrolled in the 5th grade, Jim takes pride in earning good marks and does well. Jim has endured many separations and losses in his life, resulting in a feeling sometimes of being hopeless. However, with therapy, it is helping him to deal with these issues, and he is making significant progress. Jim would thrive with a patient, loving, forever family that would provide the support and stable environment that he needs to grow up. For further adoption information, please access the National Adoption Center's website at adopt.org. And for specific information on Jim, please contact A. Cressman at adopt.org.
When caring about someone becomes caring for someone, there's help at your beck and call. For over 12 years, Beck and Call's in-home caregivers have been providing assistance with the activities of daily living, everything from mealtime to bathing, or just being there when you can't be. Being at home is important to them. Give them flexible assisted living services that come right to the door. Gain peace of mind. Call Beck and Call today at 570-426-7507. We look forward to your family becoming part of ours.
Well, welcome back to the Navigating Your Life show. I'd like to welcome to the studio today Rochelle Friedman, who is the program coordinator for Project Child, which is a program of Valley Youth House located in Bethlehem, PA. So welcome, Rochelle.
Thank you.
Good. So Rochelle, tell us a little bit about Project Child and what you do there.
Project Child is actually the Child Abuse Prevention Coalition of the Lehigh Valley. And actually Project Child has been providing services for over 19 years now, particularly around the issues of helping parents develop the kind of skills that will allow them to be the best parents they can be.
Sure. And I think so often we don't have the analogy that parents are caregivers, but they are.
Yes.
They're providing care for their children, and it's important that their mindset is one that's healthy and trying to bring out the best in their children.
Absolutely. And to add another statistic to what you said, 80% of the population does eventually become parents.
Wow. So that's a lot.
So it is a significant
caregiving.
amount of people in our society.
Sure. And so as a child abuse prevention program, what have you seen as some issues related to people caring for children that you'd want to make sure that people are aware of?
There's been some very interesting research in the last several years in regards to what are the protective factors that allow parents to parent in such a way that their parenting does not become maltreatment to children. And some very interesting things have emerged. One of the first things that makes a lot of sense has to do with the amount of social connections a person has.
Well, break that down for...
Well, parenting is perhaps one of the most challenging roles anyone will ever be called on to ask. And in the last many years, parenting has changed significantly in our society. It used to be that there were approximately 4 to 8 adults to every child. Now we're lucky if we have 2 people dedicated to a child. So there's a great need to reach out to get some help with parenting. You were never expected to do parenting alone.
Wow.
And you
Well,
can...
let's just stop there, Rochelle. I think that's a very powerful piece of information, that the model that we had was supposed to include, you know, a village of people raising a child, and we've gotten into a society where now it's just
exactly
a couple of Indians and one chief.
And the enormous pressures that there now are on parents, we're just not prepared psychologically, emotionally, or even physically to the demands. So we urge parents to reach out to social connections, whether that's through your faith community, other parents. Elicit the help of friends. You weren't expected to do this alone. Get some help.
And I would think that you would agree that sometimes, because of the circumstances that may have made you a single parent, there may be some embarrassment there or some stigma that's there, and so that likely is going to have you, become more introverted rather than extroverted, and that's going to present some challenges. And if I hear you correctly, Rochelle, is you have to fight that urge to want to go inside yourself, but to take advantage of some of those networks that exist, and not to isolate yourself.
Yes, and it's very healthy actually to be able to ask for help. And what you're also showing your children, you're demonstrating to your children how healthy it is to involve other people in your life and to seek help.
Wow. So sometimes you have circumstances where people believe this is mine and no one else should be involved in mine. And if I hear you correctly, you don't want to take that mindset when it comes to children, because that's possibly going to set you up to do some things that you really would not have done under normal circumstances.
Exactly. Good. And along with that, another very, very important thing for all caretakers, but particularly caretakers of children, is that it really starts with your own personal self-care as well. You have to take the time to develop life's qualities that allow you to nurture yourself.
Let me stop you there, because I'm sure there's some people sitting at home now that are sitting there and saying, has this lady seen my schedule?
I know. And it does seem a little crazy, I know, to even suggest that, and it even seems a little bit ironic, if you will. But certainly, unless you are healthy, you can't be a healthy parent. And by healthy, I mean taking times for your own stress reduction, taking time to allow yourself to eat well, to exercise, to attend to your own personal satisfaction makes you a healthier person.
And one of the things that I say very often to people is you can't do for others what you're not doing for yourself. And so if you're not taking good care of yourself, there's no way you're going to take care of others. And I was kidding with one of our staff here earlier, who said yesterday, which is a beautiful day, he didn't have a chance to get out of the studio to do some, to take advantage of some fresh air. And I said, you know what, you got to take that 15-minute walk to walk around. And if that's all you got, that's going to still position you far better. So whatever you can do in the congested world that we live in to take care of yourself is so very important.
Right.
Before we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers?
I would just like to say that if parents ever do need some additional help, please contact us. We have a variety of support mechanisms, parenting education, support groups that can go a long way to help parents feel more confident in their role.
Good. And I think your point, Rochelle, is that they're not alone. And there's some help out there.
Yes.
Well, good. Thank you so much, Rochelle, for coming in.
Pleasure. Thank you.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll be talking with the Executive Director of the Lehigh County Aging and Adult Services. So stay with us.
At Bridge to Creative Learning and Child Care Center, your child will learn and play the creative way in a safe and secure environment. We offer a fun and caring educational-based atmosphere and allow parents to monitor their child's activities. We are a state-licensed child care center offering academic preparation, after-school programs, creative learning, summer activities, and much more. Call us at 610-351-7400. Prepare your child for a brighter future.
The Banana Factory is Lehigh Valley's premier community cultural arts center, promoting and sharing visual arts with everyone. This outreach educational center features a clay studio where students learn the art of ceramics with some of the region's most renowned artists. The Lehigh Valley's only hot glass studio, promoting the art of glass blowing and the glass making process. the Olympus Digital Imaging Center, where students learn the art of digital photography and much more. Come experience the world of art at the Banana Factory. Call 610-332-1300.
In these challenging times, your organization needs employees that maximize results. HumanWorks Training and Educational Services provides results-focused seminars for your staff. Topics include management and motivating employees, stress management, team building and leadership skills, and cultural diversity. Register today, just $89.99 or $75 for chamber members. Call 484-893-5057 or visit hwtes.com.
Well, welcome back to the Navigating Your Life show, and now joining us in studio is Donna Zimmerman, who is the Executive Director of the Lehigh County Office of Aging and Adult Services here in Allentown, Pennsylvania. So welcome, Donna. Thanks so much for coming in.
Nice to be here. Thank you very much for
tell
having me.
Tell us what your office does.
Our office is the focal point for community services for people who are age 18 and older. We provide a continuum of services, for instance, information and referral, homemaker services, senior centers. We do elder abuse investigations. So we are really the go-to place for people who have questions or issues concerning people who are in need of services.
Wow. And the focus of our show today is on caregivers.
Yes.
And what have you seen in your work? And I understand you've been with the county 31 years.
Yes, I have.
And as we said, that's when they were hiring people when they were 10 years
Yeah.
old.
Yes.
They've now upped the hiring age.
Right.
But you've been there a long time, and I'm
Yes.
sure you've seen a lot in the years that you've been there. But as it relates to caregiving, what are some thoughts that come to your mind that you want to share with our viewers about that special role of caring for someone else?
Caregiving is something that I think all of us do in some way or another, but as the demands of caregiving increase, as your role is asked to be much more involved. It could start out by doing grocery shopping for your elder person and your family, going to medical appointments, but then it can also become something as if you had to do transferring in and out of bed. So the thing that's very difficult for people is to figure out how to balance their own personal life and their demands as well as the caregiving role that they are put in. Sometimes that caregiving role is something that happens over time, slowly. Sometimes it can happen quickly, where someone has a major heart attack or a stroke, and you're put in that role.
Sure. And I just recently had a personal situation where my aunt, who's 81 years old, had triple bypass surgery, and basically it changed overnight.
Sure.
And so you need to take off some time from work and do other things, and that could bring some stress onto you if you don't have it well planned out.
It definitely does. Aging and caring for aging is something that we put off. We don't want to think about. So the thing that I would suggest is people prepare for that time. Think about who's going to be the primary caregiver. Talk with other family members, get support from other people in the family, because very often the caregiver tries to do it by themselves, and that is very difficult.
Well, just taking that as an example, Donna, how would you suggest, if you see person basically being a martyr, and really, going the extra mile, how would you suggest that conversation go to try to get them to let some help come their way?
Well, I think you have to point out, the first thing is that they're not going to be any good as a caregiver if they're not taking care of themselves. They need to have a break. They need to seek out community resources. There are respite situations. There are...
And respite is basically a little break.
A little break.
Okay.
Where you can place your elder person in a facility and maybe have some time to yourself. There's adult daycare centers where people can go during the day. One of the things that you find is that the caregiver is often working and maybe raising children. So you in order to be a whole person and be able to provide the best possible care to someone, you really need, number one, to focus on yourself.
Right. The earlier segment we had someone on, and they were from Valley Youth House, that was talking about caring for children. And sometimes you have a single parent.
Right.
And sometimes what you have is a single parent taking care of children.
Right.
And also that same single parent taking care of mom or dad or another family member.
That's correct.
So if they don't carve out some time for themselves and allow for some help to come in, it can be a disaster waiting to happen.
It can be, and there are community resources. I mean, if you call in your county, your local area agency on aging, they would be able to give you information, come out and maybe do an assessment, and actually connect you to community resources that would assist you.
Sure. And especially there are some cultures that would never think about
Yes.
allowing people
Asking
to
for
help
help.
out. And so sometimes we have to recognize that you don't maybe have to think about the person leaving their home. Some of those supports and services can come into the home.
There are in-home and community-based services that can assist people and provide some of that hands-on care that then allows you to do more of the management of that person.
Sure.
Another thing I think that I'd like to note is that more and more we're seeing older people being caregivers, either as a spouse, or you could have somebody in their 60s caring for their parent who's in their 80s or 90s. So it is really important to access any available services that can help you in that role.
Wow. And I know one of the other issues that's being worked on in the state of Pennsylvania is the Adult Protective Services Act
Yes.
to add a little bit of teeth to some protection for adults. But why don't you take us a minute or so to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Pennsylvania has a law which mandates that the area agencies on aging investigate any allegations of abuse, neglect, abandonment, or exploitation. And one of the easiest cases to fix is really the stressed out caregiver who is either neglectful or maybe harsh with their the person they're caring for because they don't know that there's available resources. So in that kind of case, we don't really consider that person a perpetrator. We actually see that person as someone who can be assisted by accessing some community services. But we are mandated, and we do a lot of investigations. And one of the services that our office does is we do actually provide guardianship services for people who are in the community who have lost the ability to make decisions for themselves, are in jeopardy of some sort, and have no one available or appropriate to make those decisions for them. So we do go petition through Orphans Court and have been named guardian for people to help make those plans for that person.
And one question before I ask your
Sure.
final thoughts. Let's say you're in a community and you see someone in your neighborhood that you think is just struggling as they get a little older, and they're very prideful and have maintained themselves independently for a long period of time, but you think that they could benefit from some additional supports and services. Would your office be a place that they would call and to say, hey, I'm just a little concerned about Nat who lives...
My neighbor? Sure. Yes, definitely. We would take that referral. We would, we're very low-keyed. We would basically go out and ask the people, or inform actually the family of our services, and try to see if there's anything we can do to alleviate some of that burden. 75% of the caregiving in the country is done by family members, not by paid professionals.
Sure. Wow. Well, we're getting ready to wrap up, Donna. I just wanted to give you an opportunity to share any final thoughts that you have before we wrap up.
Well, I think it's important for people when they are in the caregiving role to, number one, think about themselves and seek out and accept help. And I would recommend, again, that they call their local area agency on aging, because that is, again, the focal point for them to enter into a relationship, to find out what's available in the community and to find out what they're eligible for, because there's a whole continuum of services and eligibility for different services that we would try to do the best thing to help the family maintain what it is they want to do most, which is stay in the community and receive and provide care there.
Well, Donna, in your 31 years with the county, I thank you so much for all that.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
We're going to take a break now, and when we come back, we'll have a chance to wrap up today's show.
Enrich your life at Sacred Heart Villa, situated atop Mount St. Michael on 40-plus scenic acres. Our caring staff includes missionary sisters and on-site licensed nurses 24/7. We offer medical reminders as well as dispensing medication and transportation to medical appointments. With excellent food, fun events, a spacious hall, safe rooms, and much more, your life will be enriched. Call 610-929-5751 or go to sacredheartvilla-readingpa.org.
As we all know, the job market is difficult to penetrate. Please look at the short resume on the screen and contact the email address below if this person's skills is of interest to you or your company. Let's help him get back into the saddle. I sincerely hope today's show has been enlightening, encouraging, and empowering for you. Clearly, this topic affects many of us directly and indirectly. The time and energy and resources that go into providing for individuals of all ages should not go unnoticed. We should all look around our communities and thank those who are taking care of others and shake their hands, for they are true heroes. As we wrap up today's show, we want to let you know we're looking forward to having you join us next week when our topic will be Going Green, Strategies that Sustain the Earth. Till then, be well. Thanks for watching.
A list of resources related to today's show is available on our website, which is navigatingyourlifeshow.com. On this site, there is a connection to our Facebook and Twitter pages and to our blog. While you are there, you can also email your comments on today's show or share ideas for future shows.
Enlightenment, navigate your life. Enlightenment, navigate your life. Empowerment, navigate your life. Encouragement,